Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, originally written by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translated by our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, and also commented by His Divine Grace, and some of them also are taken from the commentaries of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Today's reading is from the Adilila, chapter 1, the Spiritual Masters. We have two verses today which is interconnected, text 45 and text 46. It's quite long, the purport, 2 pages. So we will read that. Text 45 first. Guru Krishna Rupahana Sastrera Pramane. Guru Rupa Krishna Kripa Karina Bhakta Gane. Guru Krishna Rupahana Sastrera Pramane. Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karina Bhakta Gane. Guru Krishna Rupahana Sastrera Pramane. Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karina Bhakta Ghane. I will just read, okay? Guru, please repeat after me. Guru, the spiritual master, Krishna Rupa, as good as Krishna, Hana is Sastrera of revealed scriptures, Pramane by the evidence, Guru Rupe in the form of the spiritual master, Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, Kripa, mercy, Karena, distributes, Bhaktagane, unto his devotees. Translation. According to the deliberate opinion of all revealed scriptures, the spiritual master is none different from Krishna. Lord Krishna, in the form of the spiritual master, delivers his devotees. Purport. The relationship of a disciple with his spiritual master is as good as his relationship with the Supreme Lord. A spiritual master always represents himself as the humblest servitor of the personality of Godhead. But the disciple must look upon him as the manifested representation of Godhead. We continue reading. Text 46. Acharyamang bijaniyang nabamanyeta karhichit namartya budya suyeta sarvadeva mayu guru. Acharyamang bijaniyam nabhamanyena karhachit namartya bujaya sayeta sarvameya. One from the Matajis. Acharyamang bijaniyan nabhamanyena karhichit namartya buddha suyeta sarvadeva maya guru. Word for word meaning. Acharyam, the spiritual master. Mam, myself. Bijaniyat, one should know. Na ababanyeta, one should never disrespect. Karhichit, at any time. Na, never. Martya buddhya, with the idea of his being an ordinary man. Asuyeta, one should be envious. Sarvadeva, of all demigods. Maya, representative. Guru, the spiritual master. Translation. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. Everybody please repeat. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. Purport. This is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 17, Text 27, spoken by Lord Krishna when he was questioned by Uddhava regarding the four social and spiritual orders of society. The Lord was specifically instructing how a brahmachari should behave under the care of a spiritual master. A spiritual master is not an enjoyer of facilities offered by his disciples. He is like a parent. Without the attentive service of his parents, a child cannot grow to manhood. Similarly, without the care of the spiritual master, one cannot rise to the plane of transcendental service. The spiritual master is called Acharya, or a transcendental professor of spiritual science. The Manu Samhita, Chapter 2, Text 140, explains the duties of an Acharya. describing that a bona fide spiritual master accepts charge of disciples, teaches them the Vedic knowledge with all its intricacies, and gives them their second birth. This ceremony, performed to initiate a disciple into the study of spiritual science, is called upaniti, or the function that brings one nearer to the spiritual master. One cannot be brought nearer to a spiritual master, cannot have a sacred thread. One who cannot be brought nearer to a spiritual master cannot have a sacred thread, and thus he is indicated to be a Shudra. The sacred thread on the body of a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, or Vaishya is a symbol of initiation by the spiritual master. It is worth nothing if worn merely to boast of high parentage. The duty of the spiritual master is to initiate a disciple with the sacred thread ceremony. And after this samskara, or purificatory process, the spiritual master actually begins to teach the disciple about the Vedas. A person born a Sudra is not barred from such spiritual initiation, provided he is approved by the spiritual master, who is duly authorized to award a disciple the right to be a Brahmana, if he finds him perfectly qualified. In the Vayu Purana, an Acharya is defined as one who knows the import of all Vedic literature, explains the purpose of the Vedas, abides by their rules and regulations, and teaches his disciples to act in the same way. Only out of his immense compassion does the personality of Godhead reveal himself as the spiritual master. Therefore, in the dealings of an Acharya, there are no activities but those of transcendental loving service to the Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. It is worthwhile to take shelter of such a steady devotee who is called Ashraya Vigraha, or the manifestation or form of the Lord, of whom one must take shelter. If one poses himself as an Acharya but does not have an attitude of servitorship to the Lord, he must be considered an offender, and this offensive attitude disqualifies him from being an Acharya. The bona fide spiritual master always engages in unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By this test, he is known to be a direct manifestation of the Lord and a genuine representative of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Such a spiritual master is known as Acharya Dev. Influenced by an envious temperament and dissatisfied because of an attitude of sense gratification, mundaners criticize a real Acharya. In fact, however, a bona fide Acharya is none different from the personality of Godhead, and therefore to envy such an Acharya is to envy the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. This will produce an effect subversive of transcendental realization. As mentioned previously, a disciple should always respect the spiritual master as a manifestation of Sri Krishna. But at the same time, one should always remember that a spiritual master is never authorized to imitate the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. False spiritual masters pose themselves as identical with Sri Krishna in every respect to exploit the sentiments of their disciples. But such impersonalists can only mislead their disciples, for their ultimate aim is to become one with the Lord. This is against the principles of the devotional cult. The real Vedic philosophy is Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, which establishes everything to be simultaneously one and different from the personality of Godhead. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami confirms that this is the real position of a bona fide spiritual master, and says that one should always think of the spiritual master in terms of his intimate relationship with Mukunda, Sri Krishna. Srila Jiva Goswami, in his Bhakti Sandarbha 213, has clearly explained that a pure devotee's observation of the spiritual master and Lord Shiva as being one with the personality of Godhead exists in terms of their being very dear to the Lord, not identical with Him in all respects. Following in the footsteps of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and Srila Jiva Goswami, later acharyas like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur have confirmed the same truths. In his prayers to the spiritual master, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms that all the revealed scriptures accept the spiritual master to be identical with the personality of Godhead, because he is very dear and confidential servant of the Lord. Gaudiya Vaishnavas therefore worship Srila Gurudev, the spiritual master, in the light of his being the servitor of the personality of Godhead. In all the ancient literatures of devotional service, and in the more recent songs of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and other unalloyed Vaishnavas, the spiritual master is always considered either one of the confidential associates of Srimati Radharani or a manifested representation of Srila Nityananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Is there any question? It's very self-explanatory. In the early days of our movement, Srila Prabhupada would cook and prepare all the preparations for the Sunday feast. They used to call it Sunday Love Feast. It's the early days in New York, 1966, the birthplace of our movement, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And so he would teach also one disciple, Keith, how to cook sabji, chapati, rice. And one day, because he became expert in cooking, he somehow learned the art of cooking from Srila Prabhupada. So one day, while Keith was cooking, Prabhupada was watching him near the door to the kitchen, and suddenly Keith turned towards Srila Prabhupada and he asked Srila Prabhupada, "Can I be initiated?" The Prabhupada says, "Of course, you can be initiated." So he said that, "I will give you initiation. I will have an initiation on his Vyasa Puja, the first Vyasa Puja." So everyone who's there, Prabhupada, he wrote a list of devotees who are eligible for taking initiation. And also he says that anyone who wished to get initiation they may do so. They can feel free to also join. But they don't have any idea what is initiation for. Because in those days, Prabhupada didn't give any rules and regulations. It's only at the time of initiation when someone asks him, is there any rules or regulations we have to follow? Yes, I'm glad you asked. 4 regulative principles. No intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, and no illicit sex. And every duly initiated disciple must attend morning and evening programs and also chant minimum of 16 rounds every day. And he says also, this is way before the initiation day, that the spiritual master is pure devotee representing or representative of the Supreme Lord, and he must be worshipped as God, same as God. So that was like a heavy blow. Their minds are like completely thinking, what? We always heard from Swamiji that the spiritual master is a servant, pure representative of the Supreme Lord, and now he's saying that he must be considered as good as God. So they all, like 3 of them specifically, Wali, Kit, and there's one more, Howard. They're the 3 main, like they're like philosophers, so-called philosophers. They were thinking, what is this? Swamiji said he is as good as God. They cannot figure this out. So at the time of initiation, before that again, he went, Kit was in the hospital, so Howard went to see Kit and says, this is not, I cannot accept it, I'm not going to take initiation. First he said he's a servant of God, now he says that he is as good as God. What is this? And Kit cannot also explain how is this. So he went back to Swamiji and he asked Swamiji, could you please explain what you just mentioned earlier? And Prabhupada mentions here in the purport, yes, he should be respected as the same level as the Supreme Lord, but he is not God. He is the pure representative having the same mood as the Supreme Personality of Godhead to save the conditioned souls. He is the external representative of the Supreme Lord. Chaitya Guru, the Paramatma, who is within everyone's heart, the spiritual master also is the representative of the Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if the spiritual master says that he is God, then he is not God. He is dog. It's like in India, nowadays, there's so many gods. There's a factory of gods every day. There's a born God, Bhagavan here, Bhagavan there, so many Bhagavan. And some of them will say to their disciples, if you want to worship me as God, maybe I am God. Okay, no problem. The Prabhupada never says he's God. And in those days also, there was a big controversy. Some sannyasis, they were spreading that Prabhupada is an incarnation of God. He's God himself. And Prabhupada chastised them, became angry at them. And they punished him, punished them. He punished them to go and travel for some time. So the spiritual master, there are four main tattvas that are very difficult to understand. It will not be able to understand fully. There are many tattvas. Tattva means the conclusion, truth, the principle or the truth. Tattva. There is Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva, Shiva Tattva, and Guru Tattva. There are many tattvas: Jiva Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Avideya Tattva, Sambandha Tattva, Prayojana Tattva. There's so many tattvas, but these four main tattvas, very, very difficult to understand. How can we understand a person seemingly like the same us can represent the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental, pure, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity? If he is a representative of the Supreme Lord, the Spiritual Master, then he must be also transcendental. Otherwise, he cannot represent the Supreme Lord. And this is very, very serious position. It is very difficult and is very serious. It's like there was one Vyasa Puja of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, and he was saying that, oh, look at this personality. Looks like a big fool sitting in a big chair, being glorified and adorned with so many garlands and being praised. I was told by my Guru Maharaj that the most difficult time throughout the whole year, the most awkward time for the Spiritual Master is in Vyasa Puja. Vyasa Puja day. The Spiritual Master accepts the offerings and the glorifications of the disciples, and he thinks that I am not qualified. Actually, those who says that they are Vaishnavas, they are not Vaishnavas. Those who says that they are devotees of Lord Krishna, they are not devotees of Lord Krishna. But those who says, I'm a servant of a servant of a servant of the Supreme Lord, that is genuine. And the Spiritual Master, as we've read here, he is a servitor. He's representing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram is the Adi Guru. His position is that he is the Supreme Personality Servitor Godhead. His service is to serve Krishna. And Krishna's position, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His position is to accept the service. Lord Balaram's service is to serve. Lord Krishna's service, you may call it, or duty, is to serve, to be served. So that when we serve the Supreme Lord, it is not for His benefit, it is for our benefit. And we cannot serve Lord Krishna directly. We have to go through His bona fide representative, Lord Krishna. His representative, the Spiritual Master. So, just like the Guru must be qualified in order to give Krishna to the aspiring disciple, the aspiring disciple also must be qualified to attain what he is hankering for. If he is hankering for Krishna Prema, therefore he must be also qualified. He cannot say, my Guru is a Mahabhagavat. He can deliver me from the cycle of repeated birth and death, and I can take it easy. I can do whatever I like. I don't have to be serious because my Guru Maharaj is a Mahabhagavat. That's not possible. One must be qualified as a disciple. And it's not so easy also. Because whatever Guru says, we should follow. we should surrender unto His instructions. And there is no small instruction coming from the spiritual master that we can take it for granted. I had many experiences of that. I just kind of like taking it for granted. And my Guru Maharaj will tell me one time, "You are the most laziest person I've ever met in my life." Because I did not follow. It's so simple. I says, "Well, this is so easy. Maybe I'll do it later on." But then he asked me again, "Did you do it?" Oh no. I thought he will ask me later on because it's so simple. I just shrank like, so small. And we should consider this. See, when the spiritual master becomes angry, we should be happy. Why? Because he loved us. He loves us. He cares. That means we captured our spiritual master by having his attention towards us. Now, sometimes when the guru comes, some disciples will not show up. Why? Because they must be doing something which is not according to the instructions of Guru. So they're embarrassed to see him. Being upset and being angry is different. If the Guru becomes silent from your activities and your wrongdoings, that means he is upset. And he will be just silent to teach you a lesson. Now, some disciples will be only there when the Guru is around. And I've seen this many times. We travel all over the world. We come to places where another Guru is with me, and he will give class, and I will give class. There are only few disciples of his there. But then, when the bigger Guru will come, everyone is there. And then we will tell that big Guru, could you tell your disciples to please attend also the normal, regular classes? Says, yes, okay, you should all come. But then the next day, the big Guru is not there, and I will give the class back to normal. No. We should not take it for granted because Guru is one, Krishna. The original Guru is Krishna, Lord Balaram, and Srimati Radharani. This explains here in the last sentence of the purport. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srimati Radharani is the Hiladini Shakti, potency, the pleasure potency of the Supreme Lord. So those devotees who are in the path of Madhurya Ras, she is the Guru. And those devotees who are in the path of other than the Madhurya Ras, the Guru is Lord Nityananda Prabhu. The Guru has 8 gifts for us. The spiritual master, 8 gifts. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, because in the very beginning, see, when we chant this Guru Vastakam every day, it has a very deep meaning in it. These are the 8 gifts of the spiritual master. We're lost. We are lost in the forest of material existence, trying to enjoy this material world, trying to be happy, trying to become successful materially, but one will not be able to achieve that. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we're going. We don't know anything. We are in ignorance. Om Magyana Timirandasya Gyanangyana Shalakaya Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto him. So, in the beginning, yes, samsara dava nanalida loka, tranaya karuna ganaganatvam, praktash gunarnavasya vande guru sri charanarabindam. Yes, he showers. His mercy is like showering, like the rain cloud showers mercy to everyone, irregardless. Whoever would like to take shelter of the Guru cannot reject, even the most fallen. And that is our qualification. We are the most fallen. Guru never rejects anyone who's ever want to take shelter, and they will duly follow his instruction. So after getting the mercy from the spiritual master, Mahaprabhu Kirtana Ta Baditramadyan Manasora Sena Romanchakam Pasru Tarangabhajo Bande Guru Sri Charanarabindam. Then what next we get from the spiritual master? The holy name. Just like today, if you wish to increase your japa quality, we have a seminar today. I'm plugging in some kind of advertisement here. Mahatma Prabhu will be doing. And bring your pen and notebooks, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of information that you can get. So, he gave the mercy from understanding who we are, the purpose of human form of life. Next thing he gave is the holy name. And by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one will come to the conclusion of achieving love of God, especially Braja Prem. Then after that, what did he give to us? Sivigrahara Dana Nityanana Singaradhan Mandira Marjanado. Deity worship. And when we worship the Lord, actually, we're doing it on behalf of our spiritual master. We're not actually, we're just like representing our spiritual master. Those who became duly initiated as brahmanas, whether they took birth as low as Chandala, as dog eaters, they can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It says here also, one becomes nearer to the spiritual master because you do deity worship. And in deity worship, you're doing it on behalf of Guru. And then after that, what did he give to us? Prasad. Our favorite pastime. Mahaprasad. In the early days, Prabhupada will encourage everyone, eat with gusto. Eat, eat, eat. There is one devotee, he's eating 10 chapatis. And if Prabhupada didn't stop him, he will still keep on eating and eating and eating. It's okay to eat, Prabhupada says, more and more, but you should also work hard. Eat like a horse, work like a horse. Not like eat like a horse and sleep all day long. So, after that, he's giving us this prasad. Then, we start to understand, Siradhika Madhavayora Para, Madhurya Lila. Because in our line of disciplic succession, Gaudiya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, is that most of our acharyas are in the Madhurya Ras. Mostly. The Goswamis, the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, yes, they are most confidential servitors of the divine couple, Sri Radha Shama Sundar. And he connects us in Nikunja, because they are always sporting in the groves of Vrindavan. Then he gave us the association of the devotees. He gives us the adhikar to read the sastras, to have association of those who have taste for hearing and chanting the holy name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And then in the end, we'll be able to understand that without the mercy of Guru, we will not be able to understand Krishna. Without the mercy of Krishna, we'll not get Guru. Reciprocation. So, Guru is not by vote. It is being appointed by the higher authority, by Lord Krishna himself. It is like that. It can be acknowledged. Prabhupada says, genuine Guru means he is a genuine disciple. You cannot be a genuine Guru if you are not a good disciple. This is very important because one cannot take it so cheaply to be a Guru. Only want pratistha, only want adorations, glorifications, but then only want to enjoy. No, it's a serious business. It's a very difficult business because you are responsible for the disciple to go back home, back to Godhead. A guru cannot say something wrong that will affect the spiritual life of the disciple. What about those disciples who took initiation from a guru, but then the guru fell down later on? The disciple may say, that was his mistake. He is bad. No. Actually, the mistake should be on me because I did not choose the right one. I went with the flow. No, it cannot be like that. Usually, the one who inspires you the most in spiritual life, the one who gives you instructions that can elevate you into the transcendental platform, usually that becomes your guru. And there are many kinds of guru. We're hearing a class also. Bhartma Pradakshina Guru. Bhartma Pradaksha Guru. He's the one who introduces us to Krishna. Now, he may be not a brahmana, he may not be a sannyasi, he may not be even initiated. But if he introduces you to Krishna, he is also guru. But then there is Nam Diksha Guru, and there is also Mantra Diksha Guru. It's like Prabhupada, he initiated many in Nam Diksha. But then later on he left. His pastime goes on in a different realm. And then his disciples also became the Mantra Diksha Guru. And then there is also Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Guru, the one who gives instructions. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, and Kaviraj Goswami says also, that they are equal. And sometimes the Shiksha Guru becomes prominent. Because the Diksha Guru is always traveling. Who will take care of the children if the parent or the father keeps on traveling? And Prabhupada says, of the instructions coming from the spiritual master, the utmost important is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We should also always ask our Guru Maharaj, how can I serve you? Just like he asked Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We should not just do whatever we like to do. We should also ask, and especially those who live in Vrindavan, you have to be careful here. You need a mentor here. You need a spiritual guide here. You cannot just say, oh, Krishna is my spiritual guide. He tells me from inside what to do. No, don't do that. Don't be mistaken. It's like one devotee was telling me the other day, there is this one devotee, and devotee is like roaming around. It says, oh, no. I have to tell the parents of this devotee. Or I have to tell that devotee that you should not go roam around. It is dangerous. It is dangerous. One must be very, very careful all the time. So faith in the spiritual master, the lotus feet of the spiritual master, is the root cause of our devotional service. And we always have faith. Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says that if you sing this Guru Vastakam every day for the entire life, when you leave your body, you will see Radha and Shama Sundar. And we have many devotees here who attends the Mangalartik. Even old people, they walk for long ways. And some of us are late, and some of us don't even come. Fine, that is your choice. But if you want to see Radha Sham at the time of death, follow what Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says. If the Acharya says like that, guaranteed it is like that. So there are so many points in this purport. Prabhupada gave like 2 pages of purport. We just touched a few of them. If you have any points or any more questions, any reflections? Huh? Yes, sir.
It's of course a very delicate issue when someone takes initiation from who considers as a bona fide spiritual master who leads him to Prabhupada, who takes shelter of, say, Prabhupada's books and the immediate authorities he's serving under. So if in the battle of that, although the guru should be a pure devotee, sometimes they go away. Wouldn't you, that's just my personal opinion, I consider the person who's following Prabhupada, who was instructed by his guru, who may have left, and is serving under the guidance of his authorities, he's still protected and still connected. And you may say that, well, it's the person's choice, he didn't choose properly or this or that. We can't also be overly critical and analytical if it's a bona fide person who is recognized by the society.
Sure.
And there's somebody,
sure.
To do it, and you do take shelter of them, to have the faith that they actually plug us into the Guru Prabhupada.
Sure.
Sometimes Prabhupada was asked, well, how do we know, Prabhupada? How do we know? So just follow your authorities. So basically, that's my
yeah, you're correct. At the time of initiation, if the Guru is qualified, then your connection with Krishna is there, never lost. But still it is needed to have someone to be a mentor. If the Guru left, it is the duty also of the disciple, it says, that you should ask the Guru to come back. The disciple's duty to ask the Guru to come back. But at the time of initiation, if the Guru is qualified, then the initiation is genuine. Prabhupada says, the only difference between you and me is that I will never fall down. So there is a tendency that one may fall down, but as long as the Guru is following the principles, he is a Guru. But as soon as he slipped, then no more guru, no more genuine guru, because guru is always genuine, supposed to be, as long as he's always following.
Look at Shukracharya, he deviated, so Bali left him.
Yes, Sukracharya is like a Kula guru. There's so many Kula gurus in India also, meant only for fruitive gain. Yes, sir.
The central point is the neophyte or the
Speak.
he has a difficult situation when he's looking for a guru.
Yeah.
He may not be very experienced, maybe very mature,
Mm-hmm.
he may not know the Shastra.
That's right.
So, what is the best way for a sincere soul to judge the qualification and thereby catch hold of, so to speak, of bona fide?
The qualification, especially for those who are searching for a genuine guru, is also their desire should be genuine. If they have a desire also not as genuine, then you get what you paid for. That's what you say. That's what it is. You get what you paid for. If your desire is so genuine, that's why there is supposed to be like a testing time between the guru and the disciple. Is he really a genuine guru? And the guru says, is he really a genuine disciple? I'm sorry to say, but nowadays it's not happening like that. Sometimes they give initiation at the airport, oh, okay. First time met, but Prabhupada, he can do it. Because he sees, like in Australia, when he installed the deities, some of them, they were just there for the first time. And Prabhupada initiated them. Prabhupada initiated brahmanas at that time, not practicing for a long time, because someone has to take care of the deities. Prabhupada can do that. But I don't know, are there any qualified same category as Prabhupada who can do it? I've heard many. I'm sorry, I mean, like, the other day, Maharaj, please bless me. I got initiated. Really? Okay. By whom? Okay. Have you known him before? Many times? Long time? No, I just heard his kirtan, or I just heard his lecture. I like him. Have he met you before? No. What? See, it's a relationship here. It's not a joke. If you are in Mahabhagavad, you can do it. But usually the guru is always thinking that he is not, even though he's a Mahabhagavad. He doesn't say that I'm genuine guru. No. Even Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, he felt awkward at the Vyasa Puja day. Some gurus, I deserve it. Sorry, but this is the truth.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting in throughout South India, just people coming to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came completely, you don't have to do much for any formal initiation, they went back to their village and they also made devotees. That's powerful. Chaitanya
That's powerful.
So the Prabhupada like that.
Yeah.
To ignite within one the spiritual inspiration required to carry out the mission.
The diversity of Srila Prabhupada's disciples are so wide that, nowadays, if the guru is good in one thing, then they'll be attracted into that one. They have certain disciples in that way, which is fine. But the most important here is that relationship must be built up. It must be built up. Because sometimes they said, oh, I really don't like him. I've heard. I took initiation from him, but I don't really, okay, because I took initiation, I just have to do it. But they consider it as like, it's not a mistake, but they could have done better. I don't want to commit offenses, but this is the fact. I'm sitting here and I'm talking about like this. So if you are not initiated yet, please take your time. Prabhupada took him 11 years. But within his heart, he accepted Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you will have a guru that you will never see and they will never talk to you, fine. At least follow 16 rounds every day. Follow the 4 regulative principles. Okay? Associate with the devotees. Read Prabhupada's books, Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. That is good. And listen to your authorities. Sometimes they will say, I only love my guru and I don't care to anybody else. I don't care. I only listen to my guru. That's not good also. We should love everyone. Isn't it? Especially the God brothers of our Guru Maharaj, you should treat them as also your guru. This is what the Shastra says. This is what Chaitanya Charitamrita says. It's not that, oh, you see a Prabhupada disciple, who cares? I only care about my Guru Maharaj. No. Okay? Last question. I can answer you after. The stomach is saying prasadam, prasadam. And we have also a class that we have to attend.
GBC whomever they were authorized to disciple. So since so they will accept them.
Yes, they are representative of Srila Prabhupada.
So without having any.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we follow GBC because Prabhupada says, follow GBC. Okay? But maybe later on, the gate will be open. There'll be a flood of gurus everywhere. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki.